Hello, true art believers, and welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to today's installment of the Artist Interview Series. Today, I'll be talking with artist Vesna Longton. Vesna Longton is an innovative artist who specializes in 3D glass art, resin, and LED lights. That's quite the combo. I think it is. I will talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Before we start, make sure to hit the subscribe. Make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell. Please and thank you. Thank you, and enjoy the conversation. We gotta hit this thing right here. There it is. Vesna, how are you doing today?
I'm quite well. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Matt.
Before we begin, Vesna, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to me. As artists, I know that we're all very busy, even during these trying times, which makes we're even more busier. I think I feel like I'm more busy than ever during these times. Vesna, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and interesting that you mentioned the business. This actually, this month and the next month, I will be extremely busy because I'm getting ready for the solo exhibition. And that is really reflects on my timing. But thank you very much for having me here. It is nice to be interviewed. This is probably that's the very few times I've been in an interview when somebody interviewed me.
Well, man, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad that you're on. So you have a solo show coming up.
Yes, I will be. It's coming basically in a week. By Saturday, it should be on 27. I'm gonna start hanging it with my friends. It's going to be in Attleboro, in North Attleboro, in Preservation Frames. It's very cute gallery they have there. A very nice space, and I'm very happy that I will be having my solo there in the city of North Attleboro. I've lived in North Attleboro a little bit for quite a while actually. It's a city that I like, and I live in Attleboro, so next door.
Attleboro,
Massachusetts.
Attleboro, Massachusetts. Why there? Why Attleboro, Massachusetts?
Oh, that's interesting, actually. It's my husband. He has this visions, I guess. And when we just came in 2006, I came with him. He brought me here from Russia. First couple of years we lived with his parents in Ayer, Massachusetts, in very north. Beautiful area, beautiful place. I fell in love with the fall there. This is like kind of all those impressions in me. This is something that my first impression of America, I'm like some kind of nature park, heavenly beautiful in in fall. This is gorgeous colors, red and green. And then when we had to move out, Jason, my husband, just looked at the map and said, you know what, Attleboro is a good city. I know that my ancestor lived there. We're gonna go there, and it's close to other relatives. And we're not here. It's a good place to raise the kids, I guess. That's why we're here. But I think it's also a good place because I did find friends here, and I guess I found some peace here. That's important.
Yeah. It's very important to have peace. Does the scenery inspire you at all?
The scenery is extremely important for the artists. I believe it influences us tremendously. If we compare my life here now in America and compare scenery in Russia that I had in front of my eyes, actually, you know what? This is a good point, a good time to hit some of this. Okay.
You want to show some of your work and talk about how it relates to?
Yes. Okay. Now we're going to try to show this.
I can add it to the stream.
Okay, all right. Not this one. We're going to just very quickly move. Can you see this?
The resin piece?
No, not 1 sec. All right. I guess I have to learn how to do this.
You have to you can minimize your window, and then you'll be able to see the image that you're sharing. Unfortunately, sharing screens, you got to have 2 screens to actually do it effectively. Otherwise, you got to minimize the window. So you're going to shrink the window that we're on right now. Is that a cat tail? Kind of just like show.
Yeah, this is my female kitty, Musa. She is beautiful and fluff. All right. Well, I'll be trying to get the right piece on. I will. Second. So in Russia, we can close this window for now.
Okay.
So in Russia, there is I've lived in Moscow for 27 years, and however is gorgeous the Red Square is in the center of the city. I did not live in the center of the city. I did live in a very end part of the city, and so we call those stone jungles, huge 18th floor buildings. I lived in 14th floor, and the views were not that beautiful. It's quite sedated gray. And in Russia, there is a thing that when you fly in a plane above, you come from Europe, it's a blue sky more or less, right? You come into close to Russia and you see a lot of clouds. So it's the sky a little grayish quite often. Not a lot of the winter is much longer than here in Massachusetts. She made in the room, and there's less light. So it's a little bit, I'd say, a little bit less colorful, a little more gray. So when I came here,
why is the light so? Why is the sky so gray?
Why Moscow's. That's Moscow is. There is more rain. There are more clouds. There are more clouds. Just more clouds, less blue sky. And in general, when you live in those outside, basically close to the end of the city, in that community, it's not they're not trying to preserve as beautiful, as something beautiful. No, it's like a house for the it just many families. And I remember when I would look in my window and I would think, boy, how it is kind of ugly, it is kind of ugly, this view. And that would reflect on my colors. My colors would be more grayish, less bright. And when I think it was 1998, when I went to Spain, I made that push right before the inflation in Russia. I went to Spain, and I was exposed to that intense music, the flamenco, red colors, the beauty of these ancient cities, the European Spanish cities, beautiful flowers everywhere. I went there in summer, of course, and it was like poof. And I start painting. Since with flamenco, I start painting. The colors just came into my paintings. It's changed, and I'm very thankful for that trip that I made for myself. That I chose that. I spent all my money, and when I came back, inflation just happened, and money dropped, and everything just like the money didn't worth anything anymore.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, at least I made it. I went to Spain. I did something really good before that happened. Yeah. And about the the colors, when I came here in America, actually I didn't have a good idea how America is going to look. In Russia, we watch those westerns, you know, with the desert is.
There's this all desert with, like, you know, cowboys.
Desert cowboys, yes, and the gas stations, you know, this kind of image of America I had. And suddenly I came to America. I went to that Air, a city of Air, town of Air, and people go there especially to watch leaves fall in autumn. You know, they come there to the northern Mass just to see that gorgeousness. And I came there in spring, and spring it was beautiful. And then when a 6 month the autumn came, and I just realized, okay, I'm in the right place. It just this contrast colors of green and deep burgundy. It makes it for me. It's like, oh my gosh, this is my colors. Yes, I do think that that's important for the artist. The surrounding influence your style, your colors. I think it is important.
So when you were a child, and you were in Russia, what kind of art were you making at the time?
When I was child, well, I was making art since I was I don't know, maybe 5 years old in the daycare, and I was drawing portraits of my daycare mates, classmates. I actually was into those story tale stuff, and till this moment, it is symbolism is important for me. I would draw that. I had a special drawing that everybody in my daycare wanted to have. Actually, kids would ask me to draw it, so I would draw a swan with a treasure trunk with treasure inside the swan. And kids loved that image. They just wanted me to draw it.
A treasure trunk?
Trunk with open trunk with the treasure, with the emeralds, rubies, those shiny rocks and jewelries, and just kids like that image besides the portraits.
Why a swan with the treasure trunk?
You know, that would be hard to track, probably. That I probably would be hard to track, but maybe the folklore made an influence on me, because Russian old story tales, they do involve a lot of swans and some kind of trunk with something important inside the bird. So like a needle that needs to be broken, but instead of the needle that needs to be broken and destroy the Kashey, Бессмертный, how we call them, the evil substance, I would put in opposite. I would put some treasure inside of not the duck, but the swan, I guess.
So continue. You're talking about colors, and you continue about the swan.
So, and but when I was growing up, there was some kind of, I would say, break between all those artistic stuff. After I left, daycare, of course, and went to school. Kind of, Russian schools very busy with education. But when I was about 12, I had in school, in our regular school, I had very good teacher, art teacher. And I believe I was most of the time only one person in his art studio class that he ran, like if he had extra curriculum, he had extra money. Like sometimes one more girl would come, but most of the time it was me. And I was and he was just fascinated with me, and I was fascinated with what he was showing me and telling me, teaching me. And I did sculpture with him. I tried oil. It was a great influence on me. Still remember his name, Alexander Blagodatsky. If he would ever see this interview again, thank you very much, Alexander. He did push that, gave me that push. And my father started buying me art supplies. My cat obviously
was buying you art supplies too.
She just wants to be in this interview. Say hi, Musa. Hi. She just wants to be there. Yeah, my father started buying me oil, and that's the time when I started painting in oil, 12 years old. And I remember I'm very actually thankful for my art teachers that I had in my life, for like 99% of them. They were amazing people. They were like, they changed my life. They would do some stuff for me that you would not maybe expect. For example, this teacher, when I got sick, he came to our house, to our apartment, to see me while I was sick. And he brought me my work that he put into a frame, into mat, talked to me. Like, it was like, okay, how often does teacher go visit a student, sick student? But those the periods when I actually would get sick and not go to school. I would just go in my painting ranges and just paint. Then I would put like little exhibition around me and enjoy it. Those papers of paintings that I would create, and just like imagining that I have an exhibition. Yeah, that's my childhood and painting experience. So, and then when I was
So speaking of exhibitions, like your show's coming up 27th.
Yeah.
How much
Actually,
preparation?
30th.
The 30th?
27th, I will be hanging, yes.
Oh, hanging. Okay. So I had the date right. I heard 27th. And so I was, okay, so 30th. How much preparation does it typically take for you to make enough work for a show?
It's all depend on what kind of show, because I haven't been in solo show for a very long time. This is my first show, first solo show in, I think, in maybe almost 8 years. The last time I was in Russia. It just didn't happen, it just didn't happen. I was going through different stages. I had a baby,
Yeah.
and I didn't have anybody around to help me with that. When I came here, you don't accumulate friends right away. You don't get everything right away. Right now, I would, with all the connections I have, I wouldn't have any issues. Babysitter, friends, everything. But back there, I was 27, 24/7 with the child. And when she was 5 years old and she went to daycare for the kindergarten, that day I lay down on the floor and I just laughed. Was laughing and laughing for several minutes, like, oh my gosh, I have the whole morning for myself. That is great.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can sit down and have a cup of coffee and
oh yeah, you can just stop and then
not do anything.
or not do anything. Yeah, but that wasn't my case. But then things happened. I start because we young, we didn't have a lot of money, needed to work. I started doing some stuff like face paintings. Then I started doing wedding paintings, and then that plus child would take a lot of time of me. So I was painting, but didn't have time to invest into the exhibition time. So I would take part in big exhibitions with other artists.
Yeah.
But solo, it's kind of, I'm glad I'm in a position right now when I can have solo and not worry about it. And it's funny actually that my friend came to me and she said, we're going to do solo exhibition for you. Are you ready? She went to that, to preservation frames. She talked to the owner. She organized everything. I'm like, okay, I really need people like this around me who can move stuff around, because as an artist, I'm sometimes, like many of us artists, right? We sometimes too much in ourselves in the art, and this is like, okay, this is important, and we don't understand that we're not involved in other people as much as maybe other folks
should be.
do. Do you think this is correct statement?
Yeah, the artist typically can be kind of reclusive because a lot of the work is done by themselves, and no one's gonna. There's very few artists where the work is made by other people, and the work that's made by other people, the artists that have work made by other people are really wealthy. They're
Yeah.
they're not hurting for cash, because they're hiring other people to do the work, or some of them. I hear, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but there's one artist I just spoke with someone, a sculptor. He was talking about how he was talking about one of his mentors or professors, Chihuly. Chihuly is a glass artist who, I believe, basically interns everyone. I don't know if he has a huge staff of people, but I hear that he has people that intern
Just
for him,
interns.
and
Yeah,
then
they
the
just work for
interns do
free.
the work for him. They kind of do his ideas. I don't want Chihuly come up to me and say, corrected me and say you were wrong. Like, I'm not an expert on other artists. I'm more an expert on me as an artist. So that's what I heard. But yeah, other artists, artists can be kind of weak in promoting themselves, is what I kind of,
Yeah, yeah.
they're really weak in promoting themselves, and that's more like a reflection on me. That's like, just, it's kind of like a generic stereotype with artists that they're not really good at marketing, you know, because they're artists. The goal is to make the work, not to market it. But really, they got to be both.
Yeah, it is hard for artists to promote themselves simply because we work solo most of the time. But I would not give my artwork to anybody else, because I'm not just perfectionist, but I'm so such a like profiteer. I think, I don't know how to say. It's my thing. I I had difficulty sharing work when I was in university, artwork to do in group. Like, I would rather to do a project by myself than to do with others, because I thought, like, oh, I do it like 3 times faster than others. Why do I need to have anybody else? And I'll do whatever I want. Because I do work usually, I usually work fast. Maybe
fast?
because of concentration, I just get into the work and I just won't leave it. I guess. But in the same time, I'm very happy to give some work that not artistic to other people. I found people who could do the frames, and I'm just hoping he'll keep doing the frames, because the 3D paintings, they kind of they need depth, and it's not the regular frame, so it's a lot of custom work there involved. That's the first. I started doing my 3Ds in 2019, and every time it's easier and easier to deal with the frames, and because I'm figuring out the stuff. But when you go like one of the first ones, and it's the prototype actually doesn't exist, so you have to figure out by yourself how to do frames, which frames to use. So when I found out that, there's people who can actually fix that frame for me, okay, great, thank you very much. I'd rather to pay him money than to be stuck for for a couple of weeks figuring out what can I do with that frame to make it fit.
Yeah, it's good to outsource some of those things that would bog you down,
Yeah.
like
And I'm getting better with this. I'm getting better. I was very bad because I was trying to do everything by myself, but I understand now money can do stuff for you. You should use it right.
You didn't you didn't want to pay anyone to frame your work?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. You didn't want to frame anyone to pay your work at the time?
The thing is with the 3D frames, you can actually buy deep frame ready made, but it's a little pain of the neck to to fit it in, and afterwards I need actually I'll show you some. And afterwards I need to hide the light switches somehow. So
Okay.
I kind of need this frame. I actually will show right
Yeah,
here.
show us one of your
This is
resin
resin,
pieces.
right? This is
Okay.
resin piece. Okay. So and there is actually a like little light here. See the
Oh
window?
wow.
That's a
Okay.
little cute thing. And
Those things must be heavy.
they're heavy, yeah. And see, this is the frame, and I need to hide it. But the same thing is so this is little mechanism here, the simplest one. But with the 3D glass, you do need to do the same thing, but it's good. It has actually double frame. I don't have the
How
glass
heavy are
thing
those
right here.
resin pieces?
They heavy. Glass is heavy too. They all heavy. They can be 12 pounds. The big let's try to show the painting.
Yeah, show some of your work.
So this one, can you see this?
So we're seeing the one that looks like a glass beads in it.
Okay, that one actually how can I get rid of this one?
So if you minimize your window, right, don't X out of it. You shrink the window down, and then you can look at your file. So you want to have two windows open on your computer screen, so you can see your pictures and you can see the live stream window. So that's what you're looking for.
Oops. Okay. All right.
Folks, we actually tried problem solving this earlier, and we just had as much trouble as we are having now. So don't think we weren't prepared.
Yeah, we're trying to. Okay, all right.
There we go.
Here.
Okay.
Here. So this, for example, this one is very heavy. I think it's like 36 or 26 or 36 pounds.
36 pounds. Like, you could exercise with that.
Or 26 pounds. I think 26 pounds. But it's a big painting. So it's like 24 by 28. No, 20. Actually, 4 by 28.
In resin.
Or 30. In 30. This is actually glass.
Glass.
There are several layers of glass there.
7 layers of glass, or several?
Yes. There are like I think four layers of glass.
Why are you using glass in that manner?
I do. This is actually an interesting thing. Oops. Let's minimize it.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Minimize it again.
Oh, you want to get out of the frame?
Yeah, let's get out. Yeah. So this is actually an interesting thing. There was a time when I just didn't know where I should go with my art. And just kind of, what I'm doing, what I'm going to do. And I actually kind of meditated on it. I decided to do meditation.
Do you do that often?
I do meditative every day. I do like energy, like purifying.
How do you do that? How do you meditate?
Well, I do different things, but the most important thing I do I connect with the higher soul, or I connect with the father and mother, the primordial energy, and just imagine that the light rain is coming into me, and everything else goes into the ground, depth. That kind of thing I do every day, and I believe it helps me. After you do it a little bit, and you have you can go in a relaxed statement of the mind, and just you solve your issues. You can ask questions.
Vesna.
It comes.
Vesna, have you heard of this term called grounding? Have you heard of that?
That's kind of a grounding, yeah.
Where you take your shoes off and you stand on the ground?
Like I do this all the time. Yeah, I actually have a great backyard, and as soon as I can, I go and walk there, bare feet, or do my yoga, my tai chi
Yeah,
there.
I
That's a great
hear
thing, yeah.
to like I hear that there's I don't know, there's not science, but like I hear that people feel better if they take off their shoes and take off the socks and just kind of walk on grass. Something about connecting yourself to the earth. There's something about it that people really appreciate or value.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I do this. I enjoy it. I think it's actually very good for your legs too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just even walking with your soles on the ground on those rocky surfaces, it does the miracle to your legs, to your muscles. It's kind of a massage. So yeah, I do enjoy it, and I did different meditations. I go on trips. I used to go on trips. I haven't been done it for a while because I work now with let's say psychologist, but we mostly work on the energy. And she said, you know what, let's make sure that your borders, not borders, how to say, your space is safe and protected before you go into those trips. Because every time I'd go there, I'd pick up all such of weird things.
Do you go on like psychedelic trips? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I experienced psychedelic trips, but those trips are not psychedelics. I would just go through the meditation.
So spiritual.
Spiritual, yeah. So say they take me wherever they would take me. Right now, I haven't been done it for a while, simply because she said that I need to try to protect my space for a little while. When it's like when it's solid, then I can do other stuff in a safety environment. But if you're interested in this, I have a lot of stories to tell. It's weird. I know I'm an artist, and I do weird things.
Have
Like
you
I
done
go in my
psychedelics?
past lives. Psychedelics, yeah, I did couple 2-3 times mushrooms.
Okay.
So and I do it again, of course, when I'm
Is it
not
for
as
an artistic or is it for an artistic experience?
no, I think it's for the mostly for the soul experience.
It's for the soul.
Artistic experience. I mean, it does add. Yes, it does add because it helps your growing in general. But the regular meditations can influence your artistic experiences as well. Say, for me to go in a past life, I don't need to go through psychedelics. I can just do it. I did weird things. I would go on just regular trips through meditations in my past lives.
When you're
Uh,
meditating, do you ever get like your body out of the body out of your body experience? What is that called? Like out of the body experience.
I think I'm very earthy person. The truth, I'm very kind of say grounded, but um, I'm very stable person. Let's say this in the brain. I'm very stable,
Mm-hmm.
but those things, my body would not leave my life. I'm here in my body, but my mind. I could just close my eyes, and I would travel into different. I could travel in different space. I could through the. I would travel through the space. I would travel. I've been in different planets, different things. So different things.
What do they call that? What do they call that? Like, is there a name for it?
I think
It's
it's
fun.
trips.
Trips. I like like something astral projection. Maybe is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think they call that projection, but I don't think I am my body. I don't think I'm leaving my body just as good. It's just my mind is traveling because I'm here
Okay.
present. I go back right away. It's just my mind. I close the eyes and I see all those things. I go through, for example, I would go through the stars weird things sometimes, through the space.
And so you're
There are a lot of stories.
meditating, you're traveling through time, you're visiting past lives, you're searching for something because you're in an art funk. You're trying to find your art why. You're trying to find what you want to do. You're lost with your art at the time.
That we're coming back to that meditation. So that was a very simple meditation. Actually, I just relaxed my mind and I was like went to the meditation stand and I just asked the questions. So what do I do with my art? And the visions start coming up, and I start seeing transparent colors. Goes like I see like transparent colors going one into another, and then I'm realizing those are colors on the glass. Okay, and the thing is actually that my works, like for example this work, when you see close, there's like a little bit of effect. It's just on canvas, but there's a little bit of effect, like it's separating a little bit from each other. And I would always think like, wouldn't it be good to do like couple layers at least? And so that in that meditation, and after that I started experimenting with painting on the glass. Start buying, drawing the bottles, buying glass paintings, and it just naturally came into that layer stuff and building the shape out of the volume, painting one on each other. So, and it actually creates, one of my trips on mushrooms. I remember I'm with my friend, was sitting in her hallway and looking at my painting that I gave him, and the painting, it just went 3D. It goes 3D, it lives, it breathes. And I'm thinking, wow, I created that. Like I created that. She says, oh, I'm not giving you back that painting. I'm okay. So, but that actually, that impression, it's settled in my brain. And when I paint now, I do want to bring that, that unstable, a little bit 3D impression, that impression on mushrooms that I had into my paintings. And I think sometimes I succeed. Sometimes I do have it. Like it's not just one line, it's 2, 3 double line, some kind of
So how does one paint on glass?
There are different techniques, but different ways to paint. But I settled for me. I like acrylic, and I like actually alcohol ink. When I want to paint transparent stuff, transparency, add some transparency, I use alcohol ink. When I want some volume, I use acrylic, and sometimes I use both.
Does it peel off at all?
Actually, it doesn't. It's not
It
that easy
doesn't.
to peel off. If you put the volume, it doesn't peel off that easy. And besides, after everything, you just put it under the glass and just stays there. Let's try to do this one.
Oh, you want to show some more work?
Yeah, let's try to show this. This is 3D. Do you see it?
Well,
No?
we got a black screen right now, so I'm not going to add it until you have it selected on the file. So, like, do you do any type of prepping, like, of the surface of the glass before you paint on it, or you just grab a piece of glass and you paint on it? Oh,
It depends. Most of the time, I approximately know where I'm going. But very long ago, I made a decision for myself that I'm not going to be stuck with exact image. When I wish we can pull out these things. I'm gonna
it
try
was on
to
there for a second. You gotta click on the
do.
folder and file and have it on the window open. You can't close the window down, or else it just disappears, goes away. You got to open the file up, and then have it ready and available before you share.
Okay, so right now I have opened one window, but is it?
you probably have to share the screen again in order to do that. Because if you close the window and you start a whole new stream of sharing, that little thread is gone. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Can we try to do it again? So let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize for everyone that I am so.
Everyone's really mad. There
are so many people.
You can't see the comment section, but they're cursing me out. They're like, "Where's Vesna's work? This is beep beep bleep 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 bleep. I can't believe it." And I'm like, I'm typing right now. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm typing, answering the questions. We should have, if we had kept the file open. Just take your time. So you use while you're trying to get that up, let's ask some questions. Hopefully you can multitask.
So I'm gonna try to continue with that. So long ago, I made decision that I'm not gonna be pursuing exact idea. So I will be floating. I will be moving with the idea. So I will allow the idea to come through me and do whatever the idea thinks is right. It's happened like long ago, probably 1998. I was painting some realistic image, and I was so bored with this, very, very bored. And I just started doing some abstraction, mixing it with realistic, and I loved it. And that's how I decided that's okay, no more pure realism. Sometimes maybe a little bit with symbolism, but
why are you bored?
So you're gonna don't want to be bored and just mix it up, do my stuff, let it grow, let it create itself through me, basically. So the flotation. So for me, there is idea, I know what I want, but I'm gonna allow this idea to go through me and just be created. And that way I am satisfied with it. That way it's sometimes it surprises me, sometimes I love that much more than just to be stuck with, oh, that's how it should be. No, that's not how it should be. That's not how you make the discoveries. The discoveries you make when you just, okay, well, let's just experiment. And this is part of my life, the experimenting. I need to experiment.
So why is that what led to your resin pieces? Which went first? Was it glass and then resin, or what did you use resin first and then go to glass?
So I think I started doing glass first.
Okay.
And then in one of the exhibitions in Attleboro Museum I was standing in line with another artist to pick up our pieces after the exhibition was over. And that was the best moment of the exhibition. I was talking to the other artist. She had resin piece with the resin. And I was like, oh, what kind of resin do you use? And I got interested in it. And I bought that art resin, because it doesn't smell. You can use it in the house, at least in the basement.
There's art resin?
Yeah, there is art resin. It doesn't smell as much as others, so it's more reasonable to use it. Not going to be killing you as much.
I didn't know that resin smelled that bad. Is it really stinky?
It's not that stinky. Maybe I'm so sensitive, but it's a fact. I feel if I don't use the protection mask, even that resin, I feel affects my eyes, and I feel it in my, probably because I feel everything, but maybe it's protection of my health, because I feel those things so sensitively. So I'm in my gas mask, while I do even this resin, but it does not smell as bad as the other ones would. So technically you can do it without mask if you don't care. It's not going to stink out that much.
just don't go huffing it.
Yeah, but actually they have bubbles, and those bubbles, and if you're staying like this and you're trying to, do your stuff, and it goes into your eyes, so into your nose. So nice. I like sometimes when I do it without mask, after that, okay, now I remember why I need to have a mask. I do need to have a mask.
So the artist introduced you to Artist Resin from the last show.
Another artist, yes, from our show. She did introduce me by accident. Sometimes you just meet the artist and you see the stuff, that can help you. We exchange ideas. We influence each other a lot. That's for sure. Of course.
How do you put the LED lights in the resin? Is it inside the resin, or is it like in a little kind of pocket behind the resin so that you can replace the lights if they break?
This is very simplistic. Very the most simple one, but I'll show you exactly what I do. So it's gonna open the little thing. This is the simplest one because everything else is much more complicated. Let's see if we can take it out. So basically, there are holes. I forgot. I didn't use those holes in this painting because I realized that it's not working. So I used only one hole for the window, but I stick the LED lights into those. I drill the holes and I stick them in.
Okay.
That's what I do in the resin pieces, and on glass. I sometimes, that's when acrylic actually comes handy because acrylic is not transparent and you can create, like here is a good example.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you. There's a great example here. Not finished work, but I can show stuff. So this is going to be background, cool. Right? Yeah. So let's see. This is first piece that goes in front. This is second piece that goes, and this is going to be background. And background is not transparent, but let's see if we can try there. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna grab the lights and we'll show you how it works. Okay, this one's working. So
you are your glass pieces are multi-panel, multi-sheet.
Yeah, usually 4 layers. You can't
4 layers or more.
Much, can't fit too much more simply because it's gonna get too heavy. So just gonna do a little mess stuff here.
Are you gonna make a piece for us right now?
I'm gonna show you how it works. So
okay,
there is rechargeable battery. Right?
Okay.
We're gonna
connect the LED light.
Mm-hmm.
Don't electrocute yourself.
It should be charged. So we're gonna.
Whoa, that's cool.
So now, this is the background, right?
Okay.
So you see those lights? They come from the ground, but you can't really see the connections because they are simply because they are. The painting is here is not not transparent. So and then we do this. Oops. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah.
Don't break your piece in over this show.
Oh, it's not going to be broken simply because it is.
Wow.
Simply because it is plexiglass. The secret is I'm
plexiglass.
I'm using plexiglass.
So that's probably why the plastic, the acrylic sticks pretty well then.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so am I using the right part? I'm not using the right part. 1 second. I'm gonna turn it this way. I was showing the other side. It's much better. Okay. So
that's how it's kind of layered.
Yeah, that's how it's layered. But it has distance between them, though.
Yeah. And how do you mount 4 layers of plexiglass? Is there like a special frame that you could slide them in that have little grooves set inside the frame?
I'm gonna give up all my secrets today, right?
Oh, your secrets.
Yeah, there is a way to light them up. I use the window sills, stuff between them, and just stick them to the glass.
So you use when you put your frames in, you stick them in a windowsill?
No, I attach window sills to each. Actually, there was one piece. I used them even when I prepared. So see this little piece right here?
Okay.
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 Yeah, that's what it is. So actually, when I paint, I have a little bit of spacers between, and I use those
Okay.
window sills too, because I don't want the painting be smudged, while it's
Mm-hmm.
drying. And so yeah, I use those window sills between them.
And how do they hold? How do you hold them in a frame though?
I use dip frames. There are
What's
such
a
a thing.
dip
It's
frame?
called dip frame. So like when people want to show the like t-shirts or some sports stuff, and they can't put them behind the frame. They need some
Okay.
space.
Okay.
So this called dip frames. They have like maybe 2 inches between the window and
Mm-hmm.
the backing, and so um, if you're willing to go through the suffering of pulling apart inside of that deep frame and pull all those constructions that they create inside it, then you will have a deep frame ready for your plexiglass or glass
So
pieces.
do you do that, or do you have someone else do that now?
You know, I still do it because I bought a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
I still have them, but I did figure out the profile that needs to be used
Mm-hmm.
to create actually the deep frame with the frame already, so the optimal version. And I'm just waiting to the moment when my guy who's agreed to do those things for me
Yeah.
isn't going to be that busy, and
Yeah.
he'll start doing those things. So um, I believe he's not going to be busy in next winter, or deep autumn. But for now, I just make the mix of those deep frames that I already ready made, and I just get some frames sometimes on top of them to cover to hide those light switches if I use light.
So
So
I noticed in some in your resin piece you did a resin piece on, is it canvas? Is that correct? I looked like it was on a piece of canvas.
yes, that was on a piece of canvas. Yes,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
and does the first initial layer weigh down the canvas substantially?
That's the first. The first initial layer makes it hard. That's the first most important thing. It does not wear it out. I mean, it makes heavy. Every layer will make it heavy. It
Have
doesn't
you
matter.
have you done any resin pieces on wood panels before?
I did actually. Yes, I did. I can show you one little piece that right now is not finished. Um,
Oh,
because I
we
can.
should have had you should have had all these on standby. We could, so you didn't have to get out of the frame. We could have had like all. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I know.
That's not
Yeah,
done.
well, next time when this is not done, but this is like in the middle of the process, little folks. But yeah, I see those. This little. There are some pieces that with frame already, and you can just pour the resin inside. That's great find. So you don't need to.
Are you going to drill into that and put some lights in there?
So I'm gonna figure out what to do with this piece when I'm done with it.
Hmm.
Then I'll have the vision. Yes, if I will be doing the lights, then I'll just drill whatever, maybe in those flowery pattern where I have it, and or maybe I won't do lights here. The other piece that I did like exactly the same size, it actually didn't go through as well because the lights, because maybe because it's not deep enough, because
Hmm.
I usually make it a little deeper. I don't know. We'll see. It's all experiment. I can't tell right now what I'm gonna do with that piece
When you do you
exactly.
work on multiple pieces at a time, or you just work on one piece?
No, I work on yeah, multiple pieces all the time. It's I personally I think that's a natural thing for artists. Um, um, Sometimes you're not in a mood to do one piece,
Yeah.
and in general, when so I work in different techniques, right? I work in 3D glass, 3D resin, and resin actually requires certain conditions.
Yeah.
So if it's winter too cold in the basement, I can't do it in the basement, so I can't continue the resin piece. I have to wait.
Why is that? Is it like does it crack or something?
The temperature, should be a certain temperature. I just can't. I'm not a very rich person to constantly heat the basement. I guess. But when the time, like when it's warmer weather, it's much easier. I can warm it up a little bit, because when it's cold, it's just going to be very muddy. It's going to be very like
it
white.
Doesn't dry.
It's the bubbles are not going to go up very easily. It's going to be too many. It's going to be it's just a little muddy. It's not as transparent, and it has hard time drying out when it's cold. So you do need to have certain temperatures. So it kind of depend on conditions. I depend on the nature a lot.
Does it get really foggy if you are doing the resin in a colder environment? Does like the transparency become like kind of like
and it might not dry even.
Has that happened before?
Well, resin sometimes can create difficulties. Yeah.
How many pieces do you work on at a time then? A lot.
No, not a lot. Well, right now I can say that I'm working maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, but they kind of are all in different stages. Again, I'm dependent on the kind of my environment. So I need to put resin layer in here. If I would have bigger space, I probably would be much easier.
Yeah.
It's a small room, and I'm very thankful that I have this small room for my art. Thank you, husband. Let me use this and taking your snakes out of here.
There were snakes in there?
My husband has snakes, yes. We used to have snakes in this room. I was painting the snakes around, but he took them downstairs in the basement.
How many snakes do you have?
How many snakes my husband has? He has 6 snakes. 6 beautiful snakes.
Yes. What kind of what snakes are there? What kind of snakes are they?
It's mostly ball pythons. There is some constrictors.
Boa constrictors?
Yeah, some boa constrictors, I believe. It's hard for me to switch the names. I know the names, but it's not common to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has like 1, 2, 3 constrictors, and
have you ever painted them?
Snakes. I like more lizards to draw. I do like snakes. I do like their heads and their scales. It's very fascinating. But I'm more attracted to no matter to paint, I'm more attracted to the lizards' faces, their skin, their all those. Sometimes they have some extra pieces in my perspective, right? But those kind of things, I'm probably more attracted. I'm gonna ask the local that store that sells zoo store that sells snakes.
The snake store.
The snake store, yeah. If I can come and
one on every corner.
Drawings sometimes. So I will be. I think they're okay with that. I think I'll be coming there when I have time, because I do like those shapes. They are very fascinating. Those scales. It's very very interesting. Yeah.
So how long does it take you to finish a piece when you're working on roughly 4 pieces, 4 or 5 at a time?
I think it can take. Sometimes you can paint something fast enough. A couple weeks, simply because you're doing other stuff too. Don't take me wrong. I do paint very fast. If I go do my work, event paintings, I do 8-hour painting in one shot, and I finish 24 by 36 in one shot.
And event paintings, what are those?
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about it. I don't want to advertise it because it's advertised enough. But
you don't want to advertise your event paintings?
No, it is pretty advertised already. It's enough advertised. But I'm just going there painting for 8 hours, and painting is ready in 8 hours because I put all this energy in there during 8 hours. But when I do the art stuff, this is a little bit, it's a little bit different because I take my time. And I think it's actually okay to do this because this way you achieve the best result. You allow it to settle. The idea, how many times did I say, okay, well, I tried this idea one time when I was young. I was like, go like force, right? Force. And I would try to achieve what I want, right? I would do one try, like first sample, then not sample, like um, uh, one painting. It's not what I wanted. It didn't work out. Didn't. It's not what I want. They ended up later. I would do another one again, the same thing. It's a little bit better, but then in a couple years, it's finally everything clicked out. I found the person who would pose for me, and the perfect environment came in, and my technique is up to the ski, and it just working out. So sometimes idea have to grow, have to be thought through. Sometimes idea takes years to grow. That's happened. Sometimes it can be painted right like this in one evening, in 2 evenings. The simple things, they can paint it faster. The ideas that more involved, they would take days, they would take months. Sometimes I would come back in a year and I add something. But there is eventually time when I stop. I understand, yes, this is perfect. This is what I wanted. It's worked out. It's great. But it's very different. It's really depend on the level of difficulties where I'm aiming, what I'm doing. When I'm painting those 3D pieces, they are involved, because several layers, and I'm not after doing it as fast as I can. I'm after achieving some kind of effects, just creating that that perfection, that harmony that I into in just show it when okay, it's balanced. And sometimes I can come back, okay, no, this, I put it in frame, I put the lights on, and then I say, okay, with those lights, this doesn't work. This just, I have to reduce it. I have to reduce all those layering. I have to take off, and I just scratch off some layers, make it more transparent. Of course, I'm learning, and I am getting there, and I'm painting now with the lights. Like I put the lights on, I see how it's going to work. But my first pieces, I didn't even think about the lights first. They came on me in other meditation. Actually, I did meditation on that too. I don't remember what was that.
Did I ask? Are they like premonitions when you are meditating? Are you like you're having a like when you're meditating? What's that?
I just get in the state and I ask the question. For example, well, show me like I ask the question. For example, I don't remember what question was asked. Did I ask? Maybe I asked something. What else do I need to do in the art or something? And that time when I closed the eyes, I saw lights. And I saw a lot of people gathered around those lights, and they looking at those lights. And I thought, wow, it's so fascinating, those lights. And I started exploring, where can I buy those lights? How they, like, I didn't know nothing about the LED lights. And I started buying them here and there and there and there and there. And so took me a while until I figured out which exactly lights will work the best with that and that. Because not everything works. Like some lights are much bigger; they don't fit in the holes. Some lights not the right tone. So you kind of, oh, those tones don't work for me, and not with my paints. I need to get like a little warmer. So first I bought like cool lights, and then okay, it's not working that well. I need a little bit warmer lights for most of my paintings, for example, right? And so, yeah.
Did you ever use Christmas lights for some of your resin pieces?
Funny to say, yes, I actually did. You know what? Let me see. I might have this piece here with the Christmas lights. Let's see if I.
Christmas lights, raw.
Okay, come in.
You have. I'm thankful that your studios, everything's so nearby.
No kidding, right? It's so,
wow, that is a large piece.
Here's a large piece. No, it's not that large, but it's
Well, it's large for a resin piece, right? Is that resin?
Yes, it is. It's actually 24 by 18 only. It's not that. It's probably 100 square. Yeah.
It's got to weigh like 200 pounds, doesn't it?
How many pounds does it? You know, I didn't write here how much, so I can't tell you right away. I should write the pounds, yeah. But prepare for the miracle.
Prepare for the miracle. Okay.
Christmas lights.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, do these? I bet you these things look awesome, like just magnificent, like with in the dark, right? Where you turn out the light and you just have them kind of glow.
Do you want to try? Let's try. It does actually. It actually does. I'm gonna try to do this. Let's see if
so we're gonna turn off the light and see what these look like in dark light. Hopefully the screen on the computer is not gonna be super reflective and cause distortion.
I'm gonna just darken the light a little bit. Not everything. Let's see. Okay. Come on, let's do it.
Oh yeah, I can tell it's much more brighter. Okay, so you use Christmas lights on those. What made you stop using Christmas lights? I would be using Christmas lights. Oh, okay. That's very cool. Now that's very cool. Have you thought about like during your gallery opening to have the show like in very dark lighting so that you can see all the light glows?
So that's gonna happen. We're gonna have some. This is coming into the darkness. Okay, just give me a second.
I'm in a dark room too. I can't even see my shoulders. They're they're disappearing in the background.
Okay, so we're gonna add some light now to my.
So your show's gonna be in an environment where there's gonna be low lighting, so people can see like the glowing effect that you have with your resin pieces.
So I'm gonna give them both options. They're gonna have opportunity to see it in a dark and in the light. So we're gonna switch in the evening. We would switch off the lights, and I'm hoping that I will be able, hoping that those lights don't take too much energy, and maybe I will, because they all on the USBs. So hopefully I will be able to hook them up to, directly to the sources. And maybe we will leave some of them on for the night, so people will be passing the windows, the big window. Maybe they'll see some stuff.
We have a comment saying from one of our guests saying that piece was very awesome because it reminds them of like a pinball machine, like with the lights flickering. Can you see that?
No, actually, I don't see the comments.
No, I mean, like, can you see? You know what
is this machine?
Can you see can you get that where he got that idea? Like it's a pinball machine.
I have more feeling of a little Christmassy because machine maybe a little bit, yes, but mostly the Christmassy because I did use those like multicolored stuff in there.
Have you ever played pinball machines?
I don't think I did. No, so I'm not sure I can.
You never played a pinball machine in your entire life.
I have a lot of things to experience.
I don't know where you can find a pinball machine these days. I think they're making a comeback, like in small little places where you can just find a pinball, like a pinball arcade.
Oh, you mean arcades? Yeah.
Yeah, like a pinball
I
machine
know
where
what
you
you mean. I know what you mean. Okay,
with
I
a
know what you
little,
mean.
like the
Like those
silver
lights
ball
go
that
like
and you hit
yeah,
the
yeah,
little
yeah.
click, the little pedals. Yeah. So you played one of those?
Well, at least I've seen them on the screen, in the movies. Yeah, I think there's yeah, I guess I'm not as prepared. I could have bring another one that really has the effect of the pinball machine, but there are some pieces that do have that effect because you can light up the lights the way, so they will be actually. You can see on my Instagram, Vesna.Longton.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually see those videos, and I try to put the videos with the lights up. You can see how they work, and with a little bit music the videos.
Do you have music playing with them?
No. I just make videos with music.
Oh, now that would be cool if you had like little speakers connected to your some of your pieces, and you had like the Christmas lights in the background, and then you had like Christmas music playing in the background as well.
What on the reception, and while I will be in that gallery sitting my hours, I will play the music there definitely. Because when I create, I actually often listen to the music.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably can guess what kind of music I listen to.
Alternative punk rock.
No.
Ska band rock. I think it's ska. I think
no. The rock. All the rock is down. Metal and rock downstairs. My husband.
Okay. Coffee jazz.
Actually, I do like jazz and blues, but usually I listen meditation music or flamenco guitar or like guitar, like acoustic guitars, something that more relaxing, rather. Because I think I do have enough fire on myself. I don't need to bring up more fire.
Yeah, you don't need to bring out have external
too much
force.
Fire. I mean, you put more fire, and Vesna goes into the dance. That's going to be different art.
So, Vesna, do you consider yourself an organized person?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
So, like, what is it like? What's a typical like day of work? How does that? What's a typical day of work for you? What's that like?
Question. That's a good question. I am a very disorganized person, and I do need to be more organized. Actually, my RC activities work much better in the evening time, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that I will have studio, a studio where I can just leave the house and just go there and paint, and be there by myself. I think I will be more productive there. But it's a lot of things going on sometimes in the house, particularly during COVID. Everybody's here. Everybody's freaking in the house. Husband works in the basement, and he comes up and down, up and down. He wants to talk, but he's not very busy. Daughter is going to go to school only tomorrow, full time. And we got new puppy, so it's crazy. So when it's dark and I'm alone, I can finally paint. But when we didn't have such a crazy time, Vesna sleeps till like 9:30, 8:30 in the best times, when I don't have weddings, to go to the weddings on the weekends.
You do a lot of wedding paintings on the weekends?
When it's this year, the COVID year, we did not have wedding paintings because we did not have events over 100 people, and that's what it was. But during the regular years when we did, my schedules were kind of very messed up because I would go to sleep. I would used to go to sleep like 1:30, 2 sometimes, and sleep till in the morning. I wake up later, like 10:30, sometimes even 11.
That sounds nice.
However, my perfect time is 8:30, 8 o'clock to wake up. 7:30, 8 o'clock. That's my perfect time. And I was struggling to go there until we got the puppy. And now I have to wait until she grows up and I can go to sleep before 12. But right now it's chaotic. But usually I just go here in a room wherever I can and just paint wherever I can. Basically,
so it's more random.
It's chaotic. It's chaotic. Yes, it's
chaotic and random.
There is the best time I'm like in tune. It's like a kind of a meditational time, I guess. After 8 o'clock, it's just something like something perks me, and I just into the room, and I can just be there, you know. I guess when everybody's around, it comes down more, and I can just go in myself. But when people, I think people influence me when I wouldn't have people around, then it can be like anytime after I finish my yoga, Tai Chi in the morning, do my little meditation like 12 o'clock. I'm getting into it and I'm working. And it basically goes off and on because I can do different stuff during the day for the purpose of art. You know, it's not just only painting and drawing because it's craftsmanship. Okay, it's involved. I have to drill. I have to polish. I have to cut off corners of the sharp resin. I have to pour the resin. And it's just different activities. You can't call those activities art activities, or I put in things into the frame, and they take a lot of time. And say when I'm big and famous and I can hire people and have big studio, I can put those things in other people. Okay, someone I can trust. Okay, drill holes here. They just like put 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 5. And I can be more involved in art. But right now, because I do have to do all this work by myself, it takes time.
It's slow. It's a slow process.
That's why it's more slow. Yeah, it's like almost like a sculpture. You know, the sculptors they don't just create like this. It's involved. And it's a process. They have to make molds. They have to, make it in bronze and other things. They need to make pattern, and it's kind of close to that more than just to paint on a canvas. When I just paint on a canvas, yes, that's this painting I did in 3 days, like maybe 2.5 days, like
boom, 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 right?
2 hours outside first day. At the same time, I bring my canvas another 2 hours, and then just next day, just finishing up here, there. So, bam, that's all. That's fast. But when you're involved with 3D glass, 3D resin, there's a craftsmanship involved. Success, mistakes, trying.
There's a lot of trial and error.
There is a trial and error. There is a dimensional stuff that you can figure out. You pour one layer and it's, oh my gosh, you thought it was last layer, but it's not last layer because it didn't work out the best. You know, you thought that would be the best, but there is, here's like some little few hairs stuck in there, for example, or not hairs, or it just, or it didn't level. There's some imperfection there that's too noticeable. For example, resin could be tricky. I'm not saying it's bad girl, but no, resin can be tricky sometimes. So and you can't, for example, I made my decision not to pour resin in the evening because you need to watch it throughout the day what's going on
Yeah.
there. Or you put too much heat on it. You need to go with the torch on resin
Yeah.
to let the bubbles off.
Because you don't want those bubbles in there unless they kind of just hang out.
Yeah, unless you have that.
Can you oscillate it? Can you shake it a little bit and like does it raise up at all?
Can't. It actually has to be leveled.
Okay.
So my house was built in 60s and it's not leveled.
So it's very level.
Oh my gosh, how many things I had to do with that table to make it level.
Put a lot of books underneath it?
No, I actually took a plastic table and I poured the resin on top of it to make it level, and I have marks on my basement floor where it should stay to be leveled.
Yeah.
This is crazy stuff.
I have a few things I want to announce. We have a few artists that no, not artists. Maybe they are artists. I don't know. I don't know who's watching. I have a few people that really wanted to say that you have they enjoyed your fire in yourself comment about how you don't need any more external music to make a fire in yourself. And then Ryan wanted to say thanks for sharing your process about resin and how you kind of go through creating your resin pieces, and he said thanks, and it's great work. I'm in this questioning phase, like whether or not I should share these people's comments on a live stream, because I don't know if they want to share their name in a live stream that's going to be on YouTube, right? So that's why I don't share their comments. That's something I've been kind of thinking about lately. Like, should I share the comments and then their name pops up there, and then maybe they don't want to share maybe they want to be private, right? Maybe they don't want to share their name. And
I think we can just read the questions and answer the questions, or just read the comments sometimes.
So we had some positive comments, and they're liking some of your answers. I just wanted to point that out there.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for sharing your comments. We're reading it. Thank you.
And if I'll have to go look into whether or not I should be sharing people's comments, and if it's okay to do that, because I don't know whether or not that's the proper thing to do. It's just something I was thinking about doing as you're talking about your process, and I'm getting a stream of comments on the right side. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, do I share these or do I just announce them?
Well, maybe people will let us know whether they want to share it or not.
Yeah, maybe that might be something. Maybe I need to put like a little excerpt on the side saying, if you want me to share this, please let me share it so I can pop it up on the screen there. I'm sorry, I kind of just jumped in there, but I had a couple comments from other people that I wanted to state out loud before we just kept going and going.
Well, I guess we'll find out soon.
So where were you at again?
Well, yes, where we were.
I don't know.
I think I was talking about the resin process, how much it could be.
We were talking about how you put you took a plastic table and you poured resin on it, and then you marked it off in a certain area because you knew that specific area was level for your work.
It's actually level, but when you pour the resin and you just put the water will level itself, right? The liquid will level itself. So the resin actually the resin leveled itself, but I have to keep it in the same spot where I did it. That's why I had to mark the floor. There is no good spot in any level spot in my basement. But one day when I have a studio in Pawtucket, probably, then I'm sure there will be some leveled floor, and I would not have to think about that anymore. It would be so great not to think about it, whether it's leveled or not. But you have to, as an artist, you have to just work in any conditions. It doesn't matter. Conditions should not stop you in general. Because It's either never going to be perfect, or when it's going to be, or maybe you'll achieve that perfection eventually. You'll be very happy, but when it's going to happen, you got to work in any conditions. It doesn't.
We have a question from a guest. I want to we have one of the guests wants to know, when you're making pieces with resin, how much resin do you typically use? Do you know the amount of resin that you need, or the amount of resin that you need? Sorry.
Yeah, I
with
understand.
the process and all the resin that you use, what is the amount of space you need for all of it? There we go.
There's actually you can actually calculate it. Art Resin has a calculator if you want to, and you can think how much you can do. But I do everything by eye, just approximately, because I already know how much I need for that, and for that, it's just experience already in the brain. So, and personally, there's like the buckets that I have, there's only so much you can do in one shot. You mix it with a drill, and then you pour it. And if you need more, if it's a big piece, for example, like 30 by 40, for example, then one bucket wouldn't be enough. What is it? 1,000 also would be enough. You need to have 2 buckets. And you asking me hard questions because I'm very bad with the numbers.
It's okay.
I'm not very bad with numbers, but with if I have to calculate, I will calculate. If I have to measure, if I like say I want to make mold for my 3, like I'm having like sculpture project right now going on in downstairs, and I have to measure that. I'll measure. I'll measure. But I don't have to measure. I won't. I just bucket. There are they sell those plastic buckets with the measurements already.
Yeah.
And what I do, I just pour like the amount of measurement of the resin, and then hardener the same amount, mix it with the drill. No more hands involved, because I love my hands. It's too much. So I just create my create little spatulas, They look ugly, but they work. Put them in a drill, mix it, and the amount of resin you gotta pour, it's depend what effect do you want to achieve. Do you want to have just a little bit just to cover it up, or you want to have 1/4 of inch, 3/8 of inch for each level? So I would not suggest to pour right away a lot, because of the bubbles. They need to go up. So if you want to have a clarity in your resin piece, then you might want to stick for, I don't know, like maximum 3/8, right, for each layer or less.
So the bubbles don't travel up that fast.
So if you're gonna have a deeper, if you're gonna try to do the 1-inch depth right away, for some reason, I mean, like I paint the layers, right? I do 1 layer of resin, then I paint, then I do another layer, then I paint, so I'm interested in having distance between the layers, but I'm not interested in having huge distances, because each layer adds the weight. So you don't want it to be like a rock,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be heavy. It will be several pounds, but the wall can hold it. Don't worry. You can just put like 1, 2, 3.
Do you find that the bigger your pieces become, the stronger you get?
I think the bigger the pieces become, the more I understand the process, the more I'm interested in the process, because I do love actually. I actually love big pieces. I actually love working in big.
I was trying to make a joke where the heavier your artwork becomes, the stronger you actually get. Not
Okay,
because you
yeah.
have to lift them up everywhere.
So yeah, I understand what you. That's yeah. I think the heavier they become to be, the more clever I become to be, because I have to work around it somehow. When for example, I make several handles on my back, so I can I can pick it up
You
from
curl
this
around,
side,
yeah.
or pick it up from this side. It's really funny. Um, it is. I basically make the rope that is going to
Mhm.
be hanging on, but I have 4 points on the back, and I put the rope around them. So when I carry it, I can pick it up from any side. But if it didn't get that bad yet, so I can and I have husband if anything like really serious needs to work. Yeah, but I think artist has to be actually strong. That's the thing. You have to do exercise. That's 100%. We all probably come to that point when we need to do exercise. Like every artist, serious artist I knew, they had to work out. They had to do something for the muscles. First of all, because you put a lot of pressure on it, and you need to um, you know, get your muscles stronger, and stretch is also important. Yes, I think we do need to be strong. It's a correlation.
Yeah,
You need to be in good
yeah,
shape.
yeah. A lot of I think the a lot of the creatives I've been talking to do some sort of activity that is physical to some extent, like that, whether that be like going for hikes or walks or some sort of physical, like doing some sports or doing some sort of exercise to kind of balance out the activity of being an artist, at least a lot of the artists that I've spoken to,
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
there's, from my understanding, there's like maybe some sort of like meditative quality to it that is beneficial to the art of creation, you know.
Yeah. One time when I stopped exercising, that was a very bad time for me because I got myself in big trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've heard it from other person, but I would repeat it for myself. I should never stop running. I like to run. It's probably in my genetics or something, because I
Yeah.
think I need to run to function. It's needed for my legs proteins or some, I don't know what it is, but I I need it. And there was a time when I was very, very busy with weddings actually, and other stuff was going on, and I did not exercise. I did not run during that time. Some bad things happened to me. Some hard things was going on, and my legs gave up. Basically, I had I was crawling on the floor for a couple of years, basically.
Oh wow.
Um, I was vegetarian, by the way. I think it's influenced that factor that I had issues with the muscles, because now I have to eat protein. I do have to eat protein.
I
I'm
think
not full vegetarian anymore.
I think
Eh,
uh uh if you're full vegetarian, there I think you have to take like B12 or some sort of vitamin that is missing from
Absolutely.
that you only get from from certain meats. And
Mhm.
and
I actually do take B12 practically daily. I mean, I think I'm
I'm not a health
90.
expert. Don't
No,
strike
but
me.
I agree with you. D3 for people who have muscles issues or vegetarians, D3 and B12 and sometimes magnesium. Yeah, they
Mhm.
will help your muscles. But that time was it was very difficult. I couldn't. I was in pain while I was driving. Couldn't run much, and I'm glad I'm out of that dark water. Um,
Mhm.
I go for runs. I can go, like, my husband goes for 3-4 miles. I go sometimes with him. Usually I go just like for a mile and a half, like 3 times a week. But yeah, the fact is that I should have. kept paying attention for myself, for my health. And this is right now, it's very important for me. I do my Tai Chi, I do my yoga, and I do my running. I like circulated, but just to be in a shape and be able to do my stuff and paint, I do need to do that. But maybe if I wouldn't have stopped it, I would never had that issue from the beginning. I actually was doing kind of yoga stuff and running before that. It just was a break. And during that break, when I was too busy with making money, I got myself in some
Well, art
trouble.
is more physical than people
Oh,
credit.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
like even drawing, drawing, you can really, if you're just, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of people draw standing up, and when you're drawing for hours and hours, you're standing up for hours and hours.
I used to
And,
do that, yeah.
yeah, and then a lot of
And
people
then I
use
stopped.
their shoulder. They use their shoulder in drawing, and if you use your shoulder for extended periods of time, right, you start feeling a burn. You start feeling a burn because your arms, you're just raising your arm up and down, and you're getting the the physical burn from moving it around.
Yeah, that's why you have to have those stretches.
Yeah.
And different physical activities, because we do monotonical, like it's not the same muscle work. Some people have pressure on
Carpal tunnel, yeah,
this area or shoulders, depending on what kind of work you do, but we do need to do,
the repetition
actually
causes soreness.
Yeah. I actually found out that like wool gloves or wool, some stuff can help, while you're
Wool?
working. Yeah, wool actually helping. Yeah, when you have muscle aches. Yeah, wool. You just like make a wool sleeve like out of the old sweater.
Why is that? Is there something? Is it just because it keeps it warm, or is it like there's something in the
No,
wool that
it's
works?
particularly wool stuff, It's particular wool stuff. They have something in it. I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm not a scientist, but it does work. Definitely.
Staying hydrated helps too.
Staying hydrated helps, and also, what helps to me? Do those light baths when you imagine that the light comes through you and brings all the negativity down into the ground. I actually can feel how it actually clears. Sometimes you can feel like thumb like rubbing somewhere, something is going on in your body. It's funny how much we artists have to be in so many different areas involved, right? But we are.
I just do you have do you hold your breath when you're making artwork? Maybe when you're doing like your paintings that only take a couple days, not the whole time, but like when you're working, do you like hold your breath a little bit during the act of creating the painting?
I think for me, when I paint and when I work in a sweet piece that I like, I feel that sweetness, right? That pleasure. I don't know if I can call it sweet, but for me, it's important to feel like I'm getting deep into it and kind of a pleasure. And quite often I need music to shut off my brain, because my brain is very talkative.
Does it tell you negative things or positive things?
It brings up the problems, so that's why we need to put some kind of relaxation. It brings whatever needs to be solved, I guess. Whatever is the brain thinks needs to be worked on. So that's why we try to. I'm saying we, right? Like I'm up to the mushrooms. So yeah, so we're trying to use the music to calm ourselves down, to get that brain activity into the slow down and just get into the, because
into the zone.
To get to into the into a zone. Yeah, because this is you know, I know the drawing by itself could be very analytic, right? But and you can, that's a good time when the brain uses its power. But in the same time, you can, without that influence and strong influence of brain, you can do such a great effect, and you don't even understand how you did it. You know, like when I'm working on the layers of the plexiglass, and like the brain thinks like, oh, I can, this is going to be in one level and this is going to be another layer, right?
Yeah.
And then because it's a pieces of plexiglass, you can switch them, and you see, you know what, that's actually working much better like this, on a different layer. So
Yeah.
whatever you thought, it's actually not right. So this 3D glass 3D glass paintings, they actually breaking that pattern of thinking. You think you think you're clever. No, you don't know. When you, cleverness is not the way to go through it. You need to like tune in and feel it. Okay, that's actually the shape. You can actually make a great shape, but it needs to be on a different layer. So it's 3D glass actually is not working traditionally. It's not like you paint in acrylic. You put the background first, and you do that, and you do the whole, or in oil, and you can do the, say if you go with traditional technique and you just monumentally paint first the basic colors and then you do the details, for example, right? No, it doesn't work in glass necessarily like this. It can be, you can achieve some very interesting effects, and the photos, they don't do the justice of 3D glass. You can't actually even
the video doesn't do it justice.
Even the video doesn't do as much justice. It needs to be seen. That effect that I call it mushroom effect.
I agree with you, because
so that effect can be only seen by your eyes for the full extent. To understand this, it's, I guess, one picture is better to see one time than explain with 1,000 words. In this case, that's what it is. Huh?
It's called a parallax effect. That's a video game term where they have multiple layers to create the effect of like foreground, midground, and background. They make the objects in the background move at a different rate than the foreground. So like with the glass, when you take a photo of it, the photo flattens that effect, and you can't see like if I were to look at it in person and I move to the left, I move to the left, or I move to the right, I can see the layers shift.
Exactly. That's
when you're doing it, when you're showing a photo, you can't see that.
Yeah, exactly. And even in video, you can't do it because you just show the video some things. But when you in person, you can do ooh.
It's better in video than on the photo. Though.
Perception.
So having the photo is okay, but when you have the video, that's better. Obviously, the step above is to see it in person. Yes, you can say that with about almost all the work, but like with your work specifically, it really is necessary to kind of see it in person. I would say even just to see the lights, I would like to see them in a room really dark and have like an adult beverage and just stare at it.
Yeah, there are some of them. Yeah, that would work.
And have the lights flicker on and off. I think that would be pleasurable to have around.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I do use flickering. Sometimes I see flickering is completely unnecessary. There are different things. But you know what you said? You mentioned that about the effect of seeing. You know that to do the prints, I actually have to take photos completely different way. I have to flatten them. I have to disassemble reduce the space between them to the almost nothing, actually to nothing, just stack one on each other and just do the photo of the print, simply because all this depth, it breaks the quality of the photo. It's difficult, but I mean, maybe it's not as important for me, because I just, the creation by itself, I think, very important. I did it. I went with that idea, and it's, it's grew up through me, and it exists. And then your brain is free from, or your soul is kind of free from that creative activity. You go to a different way. It's funny how those ideas come to your mind. It's like they find you, right? Sometimes in a dream, sometimes you just walk in there and something got into your brain, and now you're like,
do you write those ideas down?
Pregnant with that idea. It's like, okay, they're everywhere. And they're like eggs growing.
Do you ever write those ideas down? Do you like, oh, I got an idea, or do you just keep them in the background?
They will never leave you until you fulfill the life of the idea. They don't leave you. Like, for example, that's the old painting. I don't have it even with me anymore, and I have to find them. The photo somewhere on CDs. I will do it eventually, but I had the idea of Salomia, for example. Salomia, the Jewish princess, that cut the head of the saint. You remember that? So I had that idea, who she was, what did she do, to get her wish, to get the John Baptist head to be cut off. What did she do? And that was long back idea when I was like in my 20s. And it just was in my brain. I was trying one. I painted it once. I painted it second time, and it wasn't working. And it didn't leave me until I feel that image that was perfect for me. That I thought, yes, that is the image. That is how I feel it. That is how it went. So it doesn't leave you. It lives with you, that idea. It's not going to go anywhere.
I usually write them down so I don't, because sometimes my ideas are like, they're like weak ideas. They're like, they're not like, whoa. They're more like, this seems like something I can think about later on, like someday maybe art. Maybe I might do that, maybe not. But right now I'm kind of preoccupied. We have a question though. What kind of advice would you give to a beginning or emerging artist in any media?
I'm not the person who give the advices, but I think never give up. Just never give up, and believe in yourself, and just be positive about it, because if you're an artist, it's going to come together. If you're an artist, you're an artist. It's you're just who you are. Just believe in yourself. Just do things, and you know what? Experiment, because you want to be different from others. You want to find your tune. You want to find who you are. Connect with yourself, with your higher I. Connect with yourself. That how you're gonna find yourself. Higher I, yes, higher soul, your high soul. I'll call it. Yeah, connect with who you are. Find who you are in your art. Be different. Don't be afraid of experiment, because if you're talented, but you just going to be doing things like other people do, you're not going to be noticed. And artists, you do want to be noticed. You do. We need to be noticed. We need conversation with public. We need give them. We need show them. We need show to the public. We need show ourselves, our creations. It gives that pushes to keep going, to give the energy. Yes, we create solo, we do, but when we show, we have to show other people, and we don't need to be afraid of talking to other people, of course. But you're going to be different. You're going to find yourself. You're going to experiment. Don't be afraid of experiment with medias. Don't be, right now we're in a stage of the art, I think, in a stage when experimenting with the medias is important. It's important because you can actually, we have access to so many things, and you can create something unique, something of your own, go in the spaces where nobody went yet, like a cosmonaut,
Yeah.
do your things, find something. Your individuality is not only in your individual style of painting or drawing, it could be in your individual I don't know, materials. That's important right now. It is important in that part, Leonardo already happened. The perfect drawers already happened. They are perfect, we can't overdraw them. I mean, they are perfect.
That's true. Like those artists have already done their thing, and you know to stand out. I was thinking when you're talking about standing out, I was thinking about something I heard in an audiobook where like these weird things that artists would do for like to get attention. Not like weird in a sense, but like so people go like if you go to an art fair, you're expecting to go to see art. But I've heard some really suave ways of kind of getting noticed. So one way was like to go to a convention that does a certain type of theme of stuff, but you actually have your only booth that sells art, So you stand out because you're in a convention that is, let's say you're in a convention for like selling refrigerators, and all of a sudden you just have you do paintings of refrigerators. But here, so they're showing all kinds of refrigerators at this convention, and all of a sudden you're the only person there with art of paintings of refrigerators. I don't know, but you're standing out in that sense. And then I thought about some quote that I heard about what you were saying, like be so good that no one can ignore you. I think that is
it's
another
so different way. Also, that no one can ignore you. Yeah.
So different that no one can ignore you.
Yeah. So, do you remember who? Maybe somebody remembers. What was the famous director who had to rented the cow and went in Los Angeles streets with the cow, just to get attention to himself. I mean, yeah, artists do weird things, and it's part of us. Do whatever. I mean, ecologically, not to hurt anyone, not to do like some kind of negativity, but whatever is in a positive spectrum, get attention to yourself. If you know how to, good for you. Give me advice. I would love to hear from you. What do you think?
If you could do one, if you could choose, if you had 1 year where you can use only one medium, what would it be and why?
I think 3D glass is very great. I think I'm very fascinated with that. Particularly, right now I'm learning how to do it without frames, just floating in the air, just on the screws. And I'm actually very fascinated with that particular thing. I did only one work. I'm right now doing the second work in that without frames. But yeah, the 3D plexiglass. I mean, right? That's the one thing. I mean, if I have to forgo resin, I will. But I hope not. I like it too. But the 3D glass is very fascinating. But I kind of want to keep both of them, resin and 3D cloud, because actually in resin you can do also shapes, and I'm hoping to experiment with those things. You can do uneven shapes, and I'm that very interested. Yeah, you can do a lot of things with resin.
Do you have a dream project that you would like to do in the future?
Oh yeah, I do. I have a vision. I have a vision that I'm doing something with like light installations. It's like some kind of like a deep. It's like a not meditation, like deep cosmic kind of stuff, like a room, dark room, and you have all sort of lights projects in that. Yeah, I just have the dream about that. That kind of the experience, of the lights and colors for people. And so, yeah, they come in my mind, and I don't know how many years it's going to take me there when I will be able to do those things. I probably would need to have a team to do those things. But so kind of more monumental stuff. It's hard to explain that, but that would definitely involve resin and art and a lot of lights and a lot of effects with the lights, a lot of those games with the lights. When
You need a giant room for it, huh?
Yeah. That would be exhibition kind of installation level.
Do you do a lot of
Yeah.
installations?
No, I haven't been done any installations at all, but I do want to do that, and I want to have bigger spaces to do it. I want to have opportunities to, to put different medias together. The lights definitely, it's something that fascinates me very deeply. Oof, this is, like, and it's even in a philosophical level, because like when our soul is in harmony, and when our soul is in complete harmony, we are light. When our soul is in some disharmony, we have some of those pieces of or I'm going to rephrase it. When our soul is in harmony, our soul is in perfect light, just color of light, the whitish warm color, right? Like whitish warm color, yes. But when our soul is missing some pieces, then those lights have some colors.
Yeah.
Green, purple, depend on the chakra that sphere that is missing. So it's because of the missing piece, but it's part of the existence. And I think it's a part of my philosophy with working with the lights too. I'm hooked up on it too. Yeah.
Vesna, do you have any life advice that you would like to share?
Exercise. That's all advice. Exercise.
There we go. It's a good one. I mean,
exercise. And you know what? In just exercise, and don't lose hope, because if everything eventually works out perfect, fine. It's going to work out. Even those experiences that we consider bad, when you pass that cycle of that it was bad, you understand how great it was for you, regardless how how hard it was for you. But eventually you will put those pieces together. You'll understand, yeah, that was actually an important experience, because it's brought me to that place where I am now. And never give up. We all go where we need to go. We just don't be stubborn. Just go there where you need to go. You'll get there eventually.
Vesna,
exercise.
Exercise. I love exercise.
Exercise.
Sorry. What was it? Okay, Vesna. Two more, technically two more things, but this one's the question. How would you like people to remember this conversation? What would be if we were to summarize this conversation, what would it be?
You know, I'm very grateful for people who actually connected to us during those conversations. I did read the comments. I think, and I think in many ways we are all connected. And maybe that's how I want this conversation to be remembered, because it was a point of connection. We all got together and we connected. And I'm very thankful that I was able to share my ideas with you guys, and you stayed with us. It's a big pleasure. I don't know you as people, but isn't it great that we actually can, share ideas like this? You share with me, I'm sharing with you. That's amazing.
Yes. Vesna, where can people find you? Like, where can they find you online?
So everything about me is about my name, Vesna Longton. So it's my Instagram is vesna.longton. My website is vesnalongton-art.com. And if in Facebook you just put Vesna Longton, I'm sure you'll find me, because I'm just only one Vesna Longton. I'm telling you that. My name in Russian, Vesna, in a little bit different, or Vesna in Slavic languages, means spring. And for people in Russia, I'm basically sound like spring. So, and it's a very unique name. There's not a lot of springs there. Okay, it's like maybe, I don't know. I never met another one in Russia. Here you have many springs. Like, you have not many, but you do have springs here. And there are Vesnas in Slovakia. So when I was trying to figure out how I'm going to present myself in the United States, what I'm going to do, I had to realize that, what, Vesna Longton, there's no other Vesna Longton. So that's what it is. We're just sticking with that. We're not going to, like, I do sometimes go as spring, but just Vesna Longton. You put Vesna Longton in Instagram, you find it, vesna.longton. And my new website that I finally finished, yay, and it's going to work. After exhibition, I'm going to put some, promotion when I have time. So yes, it is vesnalongton-art. That's simple.com. Yeah. vesnalongton-art.com.
All right. Well, Vesna, thank you so much for taking time of your day and talking to me and basically sharing to the world about your artwork and really, letting me get to know you and hearing about your work. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for the stage. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I actually like to speak when I have opportunity.
Well, anyways, thank you so much everyone for watching. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to keep an eye out for my YouTube channel, and check out when I have new interviews. I have weekly interviews of new artists every week. Goal is to do one a week for the entire year 2021. So fingers crossed. I really want to get that done. I could check that off of my bucket list, and I'm pretty close. I'm about 4 months in. I'm hoping to get 6 months and then 12 months. But for sure, everyone, check me out. Follow me. Check out Vesna Longton. Check out Vesna.Longton on her Instagram. Follow her. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.